How to customize your Squarespace website. Today I'm sharing tidbits from a recent conversation with one of the leading Squarespace CSS experts, Becca Harpain, from Inside the Square. Today I am going to share some amazing tidbits with you. I just love her. On this channel I talk a lot about Squarespace, branding, marketing, Instagram, and more. Always practical advice to build your brand. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now let's get to all about customizing your Squarespace website.
One of my favorite things about Squarespace, and I have worked with WordPress a lot in the past. I've worked with Wix before. I even used to hand code some sites using Adobe. And what Squarespace does is they are the box cake mix. They give us the main ingredients. Everything's kind of pre-measured and preset. Some really cool designs are done. They've thought of neat features and creative ways to use blogs and set everything up in this just gorgeous presentation. So then what we get to do as the creators is start with what they have and spend our time making it incredible. It is so easy to take something that looks great right out of the gate and just upload some images and add your content and you have a gorgeous website. But when you want to take it just a little bit further and make it look just a little bit cooler, a little more unique, like your own personal brand, it's incredibly easy in Squarespace. And that's what I absolutely adore about it. They recognize that they're going to work with the artists of the world, the photographers of the world, all kinds of people out there who want to have that creative control. So they make it so easy to cover the basics for us and let us just take the reins when it comes to really elevating that design with customizations, which is what I like to teach.
I'm going to try and share something on the screen. It's been a little funky these last few weeks as Instagram has made updates, so it might cut my head off. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it cut my head off. Those of you wondering where to go to add custom CSS, you would go to Design, and then you would scroll down to the bottom and click CSS. And how isn't this cool? You can see my
Look at all your code. You have been hard at work. I love it.
Becca, this is you. This is all you. This is 80% you, at least 80% you. So I'm showing people, and I'll let it play twice. I'm showing people where to go. So the first section is under Design. The second section is a bit more advanced. Go to Settings, scroll down to Advanced. I know this off by heart. It's not showing on the screen. You go to Advanced, Code Injection, Header, and Footer is where you'll add the more advanced stuff, jQuery and scripts and stuff like that. Now, if you don't know what these things mean, don't stress. I have to get lower here so you can still see me. If you don't know what these things mean, don't stress, because Becca is so wonderful at walking you through what you need to add in order for these things to work. And the first field, I'll let Design run once more. So Design, then you would scroll down to Custom CSS, and there is where you're going to copy and paste some of these customizations and tutorials that you learned from Becca. That's enough of that. I have learned so much in the last year about CSS thanks to you. So much.
That's awesome.
Tell us the short version of your background, because you go into detail on the podcast. Give us a little overview.
I think that's what makes my presentation of CSS so much different than all of the other resources out there is I've never been to college for web design or computer programming. Everything I know how to do, I taught myself. And if I don't know exactly what to call it, I'll probably make up a word for it. I like to joke that what's the fancy term of selectors? I call those the code names, because who doesn't want to use in your work? That's just fun. I like making it as approachable as possible because I had to learn it being a novice myself. And I think that's something that really helps my content kind of stand out from other very well-educated presenters, if you will, on the subject. I like to avoid the tech terms and get into the fun stuff. Getting your hands dirty part, I've got to say, that's my absolute favorite part about this niche I'm in and my audience. The people that I work with, that I get to teach and help with their websites, are the ones who want to learn. They know they can make that button a different color on a hover, and they want to learn how to do it. They just don't know how to yet. And I just love working with people that are so self-motivated and excited and understand that, you know what? I can learn how to do this. I can jump in with both feet and customize my site to be the way I want it to be. I might be a professionally trained ballet dancer, but I'm going to learn CSS right now. And I absolutely adore that attitude for my audience. It makes it so wonderful to work with them.
Do you see, or what do you see, Becca, as limitations of Squarespace? Do you see any limitations if, for example, someone is moving over from WordPress?
It definitely does have limitations depending upon your specific content structure or setup, how you built your site outside of Squarespace. If you built it on a different platform and you're moving it over, it's kind of like making a Denver omelet and trying to pick out the bell peppers, right? Like it's just kind of complicated once it's all mixed together. So that can be a bit of a limitation. But I do want to stress that within the Squarespace platform and within their design, you can definitely think about some of the features creatively and utilize them in a way that you might not originally think. For an example, blogs. People think a blog needs to be articles and tags and categories and constantly published on, and that's how a blog works. But a blog is just the name of a collection of pages. And I use a blog to organize all the testimonials on my site. So I can categorize them by, these are testimonials from YouTube. These are testimonials from my training course. And I can filter those out to feature the latest testimonials on a page about my training course or a page about a specific tutorial. Technically, it's a blog. And if I think about it in the WordPress sense, it doesn't make any sense to put testimonials in a blog. But on Squarespace, it's just a collection and it's totally possible. So you do have to kind of rewire your brain a little bit when it comes to those features you might be used to if you built outside of Squarespace first.
Limitations, sometimes we hear that word and we think that a limitation is bad. And I would play devil's advocate and I would say, yes, Squarespace has limitations, but they're limitations that you want. It allows you to get the job done and it allows you to focus on whatever it is you do for a living. You can hop literally on your iPhone, update a blog, update copy on your about page. Like you have full control from the app. It's insane.
So many people don't have walkthroughs of the app and they look at it and think, okay, it's not the same as the desktop. I don't know where to go, but it's just like your font menu in 7.1. If you dig into those advanced menus, you have so many options and I cannot wait to share those training videos with you.
Here's a question. What is your favorite tutorial that you've made?
Ooh, that's
I know. I'm making you choose one.
So it's honestly one that I'm also most embarrassed about because the quality of recording was nowhere near where it should be or where it is now. It was definitely early stages, but I made a tutorial at the end of 2019 about customizing your cookie alert bar. And I did a little reindeer sticker thing where it had a little Rudolph nose and little antlers because it came out on Christmas Eve for your cookie alert bar. And I was just 100% dork about it. And that might be my favorites.
What is your best performing or your most popular tutorial of all time?
Anchor links. Anchor links, without a doubt. Ooh, okay. Anchor links, but there is a close second that's been like...
Wait, explain what an anchor link is for people that don't know what that is.
Absolutely. An anchor link is such a cool thing that you can do in Squarespace or really any website builder. It's a way for you to put like a secret little tag, if you will, or a secret little bookmark in any spot on a page. So when someone clicks on your anchor link to that page, it'll be pulled to the top of your browser window. So it's a great way to make maybe a single page site where you just want one page with an intro, an about, testimonials, contact form at the bottom. You can have a link on the very top of your page that says contact and they click on it and that form gets pulled right to the top of your page. It is a fabulous feature that everybody should know how to use. Anchor links are one of my favorites and one of the internet's favorite tutorials of mine. Yeah, shortly is image filters. A lot of people have fun with image filters, creating neat effects where you scroll over an image and it was black and white before and then it's full color afterwards or fun things like that. So that's definitely the second top tutorial that I have.
We have a great question, Becca. I'm going to be curious to hear your answer on this. Does this CSS option, is it available in all plans of Squarespace? Good question.
Fabulous question. Yes. So your site-wide CSS code that will be loaded on every single page is accessible in all plans. That's the one that Phil walked us through, design custom CSS. That right there affects all pages and it's available in all plans. If you want to do code that changes a single page, like let's say you have a landing page and you want to hide the header and footer and just have the content of the page, that would require two other options. You can either use page header code injection, which is a fancy term to say just code on this page. That's only available right now on business and commerce plans. But big important caveat here, if you're on a personal plan, you can also use a code block. That's available in all levels of plans as well. And this on-page code block, technically it's going to load with the rest of your site, unlike your page header that loads first. The code block loads with everything else. So it's going to take a hot second for that code to be applied, but it will still work in the long run. It will still have the same effect. You might see that header and footer for a flash when it loads, and then it'll go away once the browser sees the code. So it's not the best solution, but it is a solution. But site-wide CSS available on every plan.
Are you ready for this moment?
But so ready.
I'll flip my camera around. So here's a brand that I'm working on called Leela. Everyone should check this brand out. It's going to be launched soon. This is a little preview of how the homepage looks, but I used one of Becca's tutorials right here to get these side by side. In this case, there's actually 3 content blocks side by side. Squarespace has no way built in to put blocks side by side like this. And so it was one of Becca's tutorials that taught me how to do that. And then to keep it on brand, I did this really cool image feature in behind this one block. I'm going to scroll down and show you guys. It's still a work in progress, but have a look at that beautiful footer, which is also one of Becca's tutorials. This is my favorite tutorial of all time that she does. But I would say the footers on Squarespace are a bit tricky, particularly in their newer versions. You can't do a whole lot with it. So one of Becca's invaluable tutorials teaches you very simply how to essentially create 3 or more, 2, 3, or 4 columns down here that are unique containers. And once you have the code in place, it just works every time. It's not like you have to wait for it to render or anything. Once it's pulling in that code, it works and it looks awesome, especially on mobile devices. So one more tutorial in action here. Thought this was a fun idea because we didn't get to do this on the podcast. So this is a brand for a DRC, one of our favorite clients. It's a store for interior designers. They furnishings. They have multiple showrooms. But this is, okay, now I'm choosing favorites. But this is also one of my favorite tutorials. What is this called, Becca? Side by side?
Yeah, I went with side by side or split layout. I think I optimized terms because people call it different things. Yeah.
So there's no way to do this in Squarespace built in, but this idea of image, and then you just set it to be right or left, and it will configure accordingly built into Squarespace. But the code is super simple for this, and it's always nice to do alternating. So in this case, I have the 2 blocks that's showing it boom and then switched. But I use this on almost every website. Almost every website that I create now works so beautifully for landing pages, for all kinds of things. So there you go, a few sites with your stuff in action.
That's an easy one to share. Anyone watching who wants to try that, at insidethesquare.co/71split. That's where I've got the instructions on how to set it up, a couple code examples for you. That's insidethesquare.co/71split. And I want to mention, if you're brand new to Squarespace and brand new to code, I just finished redoing my beginner's guide to CSS. Just a really fabulous high-level overview explaining exactly what it is, how it works with Squarespace, and has a couple of practice codes for you to try so you can just kind of dip your toes in the water, so to speak. And that's totally free. It's at insidethesquare.co/learn. So if you're brand new, insidethesquare.co/learn. It's a great way to get yourself familiar with CSS if you're a little intimidated about really jumping into it. So definitely go check that out.
There you go. Hopefully you've got some new ideas on how to customize your Squarespace website. And a huge thanks to Becca for joining in this video. Be sure to check out her channel. I'm going to link to it below. As well, I have a full-length podcast episode and Instagram Live. You enjoyed some of these segments today, but if you want to catch out the full episodes of those are linked below. If you're new to my channel, I talk a lot about practical advice to build your brand. Like this video if you found it useful, and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Next, I'm linking you through to some videos that I think you'll find helpful as you build your brand. I'm Phil. Thanks for watching, and those videos are coming up next.